guys, welcome on this new Coach Live Academy Lab Guide. I'm Corentin Guinez, and today we are at Phillip Island for the third week of the Falcon Sports Car Series, and I am with the Mercedes AMG GT4. As usual, first we're gonna go with the outlap, and then I'm gonna go into more details about the car and the track. So yep, let's get started. Okay, guys, here we go for the lap around Phillip Island with the AMG GT4. So we will approach C1 pretty quickly. Basically, just gonna go on the curbing because it's the best way to approach this corner. It gives you also a better angle. So when you can have the chance to use all of the track, just do it. And then for this one, I'm basically gonna use there is a sort of dip at some point into the curbing, like it goes downhill. So then I will try to find it. At that point, you can see that it feels like a bit like a dip. I think you can feel it a bit better in the wheels than just seeing the dip on the track because sometimes you cannot really see that on the game. But yeah, at that point when you have that sort of dip, just putting the car on the brakes, not too much brakes because you can carry a lot of speed through this one, but at the same time you have to slow down a bit the car as well because it gets a bit tight on the exit. So you have to slow down the car, but at the same time not too much because you have to carry the speed and also because it goes a bit uphill if I remember. So yeah, just going slightly on the brakes. Also just try to avoid go too heavily on the brakes as well because you don't want to upset the car in this corner because it's easy to lose the rear, for example. But yeah, just sending the car on the corner when I'm close to this deep. So that's basically when you can see that it starts to go to the right when it follows the corner basically. So I'm pretty much starting to turn in when the white line doesn't go straight anymore. So then as you can see on the brakes, not too much, maybe 20% or so. And then when I'm getting close of the apex, I'm starting to just release the brake completely. As you can see, I'm not braking all the way. So it's because for me, it felt like it wasn't necessary, obviously. But then pretty much the way you feel when you are mid corner. If you have to have your vision like far from just this thing, you have to maybe look at this actually to really see where you're going because as you can see, it's a bit blind because of the this martial thing. So basically, you have to really have your vision a bit far away, I would say, and see that the track goes right there. So if you see that you have a bit too much speed, then maybe you're gonna have at that exact moment gonna have to brake. But for me, it didn't felt like I had to brake. Also, if you feel that you need more rotation, you can so maybe also apply a bit of braking. But for me, at that point, it felt like I never had any need of braking. And then at that point, I went back on the brake because maybe I felt that I needed a bit of rotation and also because I felt like the car was going a bit too wide. But yeah, that's pretty much the way you have to approach this corner. And then when you go past the apex, you have to go back on power because you need to find the rotation. As you can see, it goes a bit uphill, so you have to keep some momentum. Also for the exit of this one, it's not really necessary to stick to the curbing. In my opinion, it's not necessary to go all the way on the curbing on the exit of this one. If you can keep some margin, it's fine because you're gonna have to put more steering angle if you stay all the way on the curbing. But then if you keep a bit of a margin, you're gonna have a bit less steering angle to put. So maybe it will put less stress on the tires, obviously, and then it can make a bit can make the exit a bit better because gonna be able to carry more speed, obviously with less steering angle. Then with more steering angle, you're gonna have maybe to slow down the car a bit more, obviously. And then I'm gonna have to go on the brakes. So if I have more steering angle, it can make the car a bit more unstable, I would say. That's why I'm keeping a bit of a margin at that point because I know that I'm gonna have to apply the brakes really, really soon. And if I put too much steering angle because of the tighter line, then yeah, it's not ideal. So yeah, that's why I'm keeping a bit of a margin. As you can see, it was really soon on the brakes. And then I'm just gonna try to stay as much as I can on the inside and stick to the curbing. Obviously, it's not easy because the car can be a bit light sometimes. So you have to make sure that you are not losing the car as well. So maybe going a bit wider and then cutting back the corner is maybe the good way sometimes to do it. But yeah, the idea there when I'm entering this corner is to stay all the way on the curbing because it's the best way for me to make the car rotate. You have quite a good grip on the curbing as well. That's what helps you sometimes as well to find the rotation. So yeah, as you can see on the brake, and it's pretty much like T1. I'm not trying to put too much brakes because first I'm gonna lose the rotation if I hit the ABS, and because yeah, I need to keep some momentum through this one as well. As you can see, back on power really early because it goes uphill. As you can see in the middle, still it goes still uphill because you cannot see behind. So it goes uphill, and because I need to find the rotation. So as you can see, just playing a bit with the power and the brakes, but from now I'm all the way on the brakes, and then just trying to not exit too wide. As you can see, you could almost go flat out from this point, but the curbing begins pretty late on the exit of this one. So that's why you have to be patient, a bit more patient, I would say, on the exit of this one, because then you have the curbing on the exit arrives pretty late. So yeah, you have to wait a bit. Like I said, the curbing just begins right there, so you have to be careful to not exit too wide, like I said just before. Then getting all the curbing, and then you have that small straight with the this left one just right there, just licking the curbing. And then for this one, I think I'm braking just between the two, so it should be 120 or 125, just heavy braking zone. And then at that point, I'm starting to release the brakes to start to have the rotation, just turning in when almost when the as you can see, just following a bit the white line, and when it follows the turn, when the white line doesn't go straight anymore, starting to turn in, just keeping second. Just make sure to not run over the cabin on the inside. When you press the power, sometimes it feels really bad. It feels like it will spin all the time. So for me, the best way is to just stay away and not apply any. Just do not go on the you're gonna have to apply some power at some point anyway. As you can see, I'm really early on power. Like when I'm on the apex, I think I'm just in the middle of the corner, if I'm right. Yeah, as you can see, I'm in the middle right there, and I'm on power already. So yeah, you have to put the power very early. So if you use the curbing, even if you are in the curbing at that point, then it's bad because you're gonna have to go on power. But like I said, when you go on power on this curbing, it feels really bad. So just avoid all the way, even on the entry, the curbing, because it's the best way to lose time with the wheel spin, and also because you're gonna cook the tires, I guess, if you have some bad wheel spin on this one. So yeah, just avoid the curbing, stay with second gear, and then you have to aim for the curbing on the exit. Just open the steering to put full power. Then, then just make sure you don't run in the gravel. It's really easy to run a bit wide out of this one because obviously you want to carry the momentum on the exit. But yeah, just make sure you are able to avoid the gravel. Also because I think it can be enough track, not to slow down, but enough track. So yeah, just be careful on the exit of the slow one, and just make sure you use the blue and white curbing. So then need to move on the right side completely, and then I'm gonna use as a braking reference the end of the curbing basically. And then for this one, I'm gonna go wide. I'm gonna hide I'm gonna have a wide entry to have then a tight exit, a better exit, obviously for this one. So as you can see, I'm really staying wide, then releasing the throttle, going on the brakes, then not too heavily on the brakes, and then I'm gonna try to cut back this corner to just have a tight exit. I'm not gonna go too tight, obviously, because then I'm gonna run on the curbing. And like I said, it seems like the throttle and curbing, it's not a really friendly combo on this track. So I'm just gonna try to avoid that. Say dropping to second. So once again, I'm doing it once again on the brakes. Not too much on the brakes, maybe maximum 50%, I would say. Then just playing a bit on the brakes to find the rotation. And then I need to go on power because I need to find the momentum. And also because, as you can see, it goes uphill. So I need to find the momentum. If I know I'm going too late on power, then I'm not gonna have the speed for the rest of the sector. And then, as you can see, just looking at the curbing now, trying to aim for the curbing, putting third gear on the exit, and then I guess stay flat out. Now we have that kind of fast S's, just trying to shorten the distance by running the curbing. Same for this one. And then I'm gonna try to go a bit wide to prepare this one. Then as soon as I'm getting close, I mean for this one it's close. It's complicated to give you a reference. Basically, you can see that there is like a sort of gap between the two tire marks, and I'm basically using those tire marks, like just the ones right there, because at that point you don't really have any reference. To be honest, maybe you could look at the tires, like the difference between this bit of tires and the second one. I think that's maybe it should be close to what I'm looking, even if I'm not really sure actually. Um, it is actually, it is. So yeah, if you look at this, if you want another example, you can maybe look at the tires. But for me, in my opinion, it's too far away. So that's why I'm looking at the tire marks. For sure, it's not ideal because um, like depending of the weather, sometimes it can be cloudy, and if it's cloudy, I don't think you can really see the tire mark. So at least not as good as now with the clear, or maybe it's I don't know. Yeah, it's clear weather. So yeah, obviously there is no skies which you can see on the track, so it doesn't make any shadow on the track, so you can see the tire marks. But if you want another way to look at this, if you cannot really see it in the race, you see that you cannot see the tire marks. Actually, you have like you can save yourself by looking at the tires, because it's actually it's side by side. When I look on my right screen and I see the window, I can see that the this thing on the tires is exactly side by side with the moment I'm braking. So yeah, just again braking at this point, and now I can see the tires. I can see the difference between the two set of tires. And on the brakes, just trying to not be too aggressive on the brakes because it's really easy to lose the rear on this one. And then I'm just gonna aim for the apex, keep slowing down the car on the brakes, trying to find the rotation. And then at that point, I need to go back on power because I did slow down the car enough to make the apex. But now, as you can see, it goes uphill. So I need to find the speed again, and also I need to find the rotation because it can get a bit understeery sometimes. So that's why I'm going on the power again with fourth gear, just trying to stick with the curbing. And then I need to quickly move to the left side of the track again, just braking a bit before the 50-meter board. I think maybe I would say it's 55, 60, just before the crest I'm braking. So not braking too much because obviously I want to avoid the ABS. I want to find the rotation as soon as I'm gonna go close to the apex of this one. So yeah, just dropping to second, need to brake a bit more, getting close of the apex because it goes downhill. So obviously it gives you some momentum with that. But still, like just try to avoid. You can brake a bit harder, but just make sure you at all cost avoid the ABS because then it's gonna be terrible when you're gonna get close to the apex. Then making the apex, just gonna short shift to third if I remember on the exit, just to make sure I can get this one clean. Then as you can see, just about playing with the throttle, just trying to exit a bit tighter, even if I cannot completely exit tight, because if I want to exit tight, I need to put more steering angle, which means that with this kind of throttle inputs, it's gonna be close to a wheel spin or maybe spin. So yeah, just make sure that you exit tight, but not too much, not compromise the exit. And then as you can see, short shifting to third, just trying to not get the curbing, because for me it didn't felt great all along the lap. And then as you can see, just playing with the throttle. Then as soon as you're getting close, as you can see, you have like a, I would say, I think it's right to say that it's like curved curb. So basically you can, like, just after it's like a flat curb. So when you go close to the flat curb, at that point you can go full on power, as you can see. So as soon as I'm getting past the flat curb, full on power, then just trying to aim for this curbing, and then basically it's all the way flat. From now, just running on the curbing. Then when I'm getting close to the end of the curbing, just sending the car on the inside. But as you can see, it goes on camber, so it's easy to make the corner flat. And then just aiming for the apex, not going over this curbing because it's not really necessary anyway. It never felt great, like I said. And then for the end of the lap, just running a bit of curbing, and yeah, that's it for the lap around Phillip Island with the AMG GT4. Okay guys, that's it for today. We were around Phillip Island and with the AMG GT4 for the third week of the Falcon Sports Car series. I hope you learned a bit from this video and you like it as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. And also join the Discord server if you have any questions about the work we are making. And yeah, see you for week 4. Bye bye.